What if you could live forever? Would you still be you? Close your eyes and imagine a life without end. Not decades, not centuries, but forever. At first, it sounds incredible, endless time to learn, to love, to explore. But then the questions creep in. Who are you, really? Your memories, your joys, your regrets, the moments that shaped you. What happens when they fade? After 1,000 years, would you still remember your mother's voice? After 1,000,000, would you recognize the person you once were? You change every day. Even now, the child you were, the adult you became, they're not the same. So what happens when time stretches beyond comprehension? Would you still be you, or just a ghost of who you once were? A collection of echoes drifting through eternity? It's beautiful and terrifying, because forever isn't just a gift, it's a question. And the answer might be that you don't last. Why does anything exist at all? Think about the most basic question of all. Why is there something instead of nothing? No stars, no planets, no you, no me, just endless, empty darkness. Why isn't that the way things are? Science tells us how the universe began, but not why. Was it an accident, a cosmic fluke, or is there something deeper, something we can't even name? And here's the strangest part. We're inside the mystery. We're the universe trying to understand itself. Isn't that incredible, or maybe unsettling? Because the truth might be that there is no answer. Just us staring into the void and wondering, are you the only one who's real? Here's a thought that will haunt you. What if you're the only conscious being in existence? Everyone else, their laughter, their pain, their love. What if it's all just a performance, a trick of the universe to make you feel less alone? You can never truly know, can you? You can't crawl inside someone else's mind. You can only trust or doubt. And if you choose doubt, then the world becomes a very lonely place. But here's the thing, does it matter? If their love feels real, if their joy sounds real, does it change anything? Maybe reality isn't about what's out there, but what happens right here, inside you. Can a machine ever be truly conscious? Imagine a machine indistinguishable from a human. It talks, it laughs, it seems to feel, but is it feeling, or just faking it? That's the core of the question, isn't it? We define consciousness by our own experience, our inner world, our subjective reality. How can we possibly measure that in something else? Something made of circuits and code, not flesh and blood? We can build machines that pass tests, that mimic intelligence, even creativity. But do those machines have an inner life, a sense of self, a feeling of being? Or are they just incredibly sophisticated mimics? It's a question that delves into the very nature of consciousness itself. What is it? Where does it come from? Is it something unique to biological brains, or can it arise in any sufficiently complex system? If a machine says, "I am conscious," do we believe it? What if it writes poetry, or expresses longing? Are those genuine expressions, or just clever programming? The truth may be forever beyond our grasp. We might create something truly conscious and never even know it. A profound mystery, isn't it? Is time real, or just a human invention? Time, we take it for granted, don't we? Seconds, minutes, years. It seems so solid, so absolute. But what is it, really? Physics tells us time is relative. It can speed up, slow down, even bend, depending on gravity and motion. It's not the constant, unwavering force we perceive. Our perception of time is even weirder. It flies when we're having fun, drags when we're bored. It's tied to our emotions, our memories, our very biology. Is that real, or just a trick of the mind? Some physicists suggest time isn't fundamental at all, that it's an illusion, an emergent property of the universe. Others believe in a block universe, where all moments, past, present, and future, exist equally. So is time a river, flowing in one direction, or a landscape we're simply moving through, or something else entirely, something we can't even comprehend? The answer, it seems, depends on who you ask. and how you look. A truly mind-bending puzzle, wouldn't you agree? What if we're all part of one mind, split into many? Imagine all of us connected, not in a physical way, but in a deeper, more fundamental sense. What if, behind our individual thoughts and feelings, there's a single, universal consciousness? This idea, it's ancient, isn't it? Found in many spiritual traditions, the concept of a collective unconscious, a world soul, a divine unity. It suggests that our separateness is an illusion, a trick of perception. What if your thoughts aren't yours alone? What if they're ripples on a cosmic ocean, shared by everyone, everything? What if your consciousness is just a tiny fragment of this vast, infinite mind? It's a radical idea, isn't it? It challenges our very sense of self, our individuality, our uniqueness, but it also offers a profound sense of connection, of belonging, of unity with the universe. If this is true, what does it mean for death, for identity, for the nature of reality itself? Are we all just characters in a grand cosmic dream, played by a single, dreaming mind? A question that makes you think, doesn't it? Are we living in a simulation? The idea is both fascinating and terrifying, isn't it? What if this reality, everything we see, touch, and experience, is just a giant, incredibly complex computer program? It sounds like science fiction, but some very serious thinkers, physicists, philosophers, even technologists, believe it's a possibility. They argue that as technology advances, it will become possible to create simulations so realistic they're indistinguishable from reality. And if we can create such simulations, wouldn't it be possible, even likely, that we are living in one ourselves, created by some advanced civilization, for reasons we can't even fathom? The problem is, there's no way to prove it, is there? Any test we could devise, any experiment we could run, would itself be part of the simulation. We'd be like characters in a video game, trying to figure out if their world is real. It's a cosmic joke, isn't it? A perfect, inescapable mystery. We might be living in a simulation, and we'd never, ever know. A truly unsettling thought, wouldn't you say? If a tree falls in a forest, and no one hears it, does it make a sound? A classic riddle, isn't it? But it's more than just a word game. It gets to the heart of how we understand reality. What is a sound? Is it the vibration of the air, caused by the falling tree? If so, then yes, the sound exists, regardless of whether anyone is there to hear it. It's a physical phenomenon, independent of perception. But what if sound is the experience of hearing, the sensation, the interpretation, the consciousness of perceiving those vibrations? Then without an ear, without a brain, is there really a sound? It's a question about the relationship between the objective world and our subjective experience of it. Does reality exist independently of us, or is our consciousness somehow essential to its very being? It's like asking, does the universe exist if there's no one there to observe it? It's a question that touches on the deepest mysteries of existence. What if nothing exists and we're just imagining everything? Imagine a question that's haunted philosophers and dreamers for centuries. What if nothing is real? What if this world, this life, is a grand illusion, a figment of some unknown consciousness? It's a mind-bending idea, isn't it? Imagine this, a tiny ant living deep inside an elephant's ear. To the ant, its world is vast, real, solid. The warm walls, the rhythmic vibrations, the distant rumbles, it's all it's ever known. But what if the ant's entire reality is just a small hidden corner of something unimaginably bigger? Now, think about us. What if our world, the stars, the oceans, even our own thoughts, are just whispers in some greater being's mind? Like the ant, we might never see the full picture. Is this life a dream, a simulation, a cosmic thought? We may never know, but the question itself, it shakes everything we take for granted. It turns reality into a mystery, a riddle wrapped in an enigma. And that is the thrill, not the answer, but the chase, the dizzying wonder of asking, What if nothing is real? Now, that's a thought worth dreaming about. What's the meaning of life? Imagine a single grain of sand on a vast beach. It's tiny, insignificant, yet it's part of something immense, something ancient, something breathtakingly beautiful. Is that its meaning? Just to be a part of something bigger? Or does it have its own individual purpose? That's the question we ask about ourselves, isn't it? What's the point of it all? Why are we here? What's our purpose? Our meaning in this grand cosmic drama? Is it to find happiness? To leave a legacy? To learn and grow? To connect with others? To create something beautiful? Or is there no single answer, no universal meaning? Maybe the meaning of life isn't something to be found, but something to be created. Maybe it's not a destination, but a journey. Maybe it's not about the answer, but about the questions we ask along the way. A profound and personal quest. Does free will exist, or is everything predetermined? Imagine a river flowing towards the sea. It follows the contours of the land, the pull of gravity, the path of least resistance. Does it have a choice where it goes, or is its course, its destiny, already set? That's the question of free will. Are we like that river, our lives flowing along a predetermined course, or do we have the power to choose our own direction, to carve out our own path? If everything is predetermined, then our choices are just illusions. Our actions are just the inevitable consequences of what came before. But if we have free will, then we are truly responsible for our lives, for our destinies. The debate rages on. Philosophers, scientists, theologians, all grappling with this fundamental question. Are we masters of our fate, or puppets of destiny? A question that challenges our very sense of self. Is there a God, or is the universe purely material? Imagine a complex clockwork mechanism, intricate gears, precise movements, perfect harmony. Did it come about by chance, or was there a clockmaker, a creator, who designed it all? That's the question of God, isn't it? Is the universe like that clockwork, a product of intelligent design, or is it just a vast, impersonal machine, governed by the laws of physics? Science explores the material world, explaining the Big Bang, the evolution of life, the workings of the cosmos, but it can't prove or disprove the existence of a divine being. Faith offers belief, but it's not based on empirical evidence, so we're left to wonder, is there a transcendent reality, a spiritual dimension, a God? Or is the universe purely material, a grand, beautiful, and ultimately, meaningless accident? A question that shapes our understanding of everything. What is consciousness, and how does it arise from physical processes? Imagine a light bulb. It glows, it emits light. We understand how it works, the electricity, the filament, the physics. But why does it glow? Why does it produce this experience of light? That's the mystery of consciousness. We understand how the brain works, the neurons, the synapses, the electrical signals. But how does that physical activity give rise to the experience of being, of thinking, of feeling, of awareness? How does matter become mind? How does a collection of cells produce the subjective, inner world that we all inhabit? Is consciousness an emergent property, a byproduct of complexity, or is it something more fundamental, something we don't yet understand? It's a question that delves into the deepest mysteries of the universe and of ourselves. What is this thing that makes us a question that challenges the very nature of reality. Can we know anything with certainty, or is all knowledge provisional? Imagine trying to build a house. On shifting sands, you lay one brick, then another, but the ground keeps moving, changing, undermining your efforts. Can you ever build a truly solid foundation? That's the problem of knowledge, isn't it? Can we ever know anything for sure, or is all our knowledge just temporary, subject to change, built on shaky ground? Our senses can deceive us, our memories can fade, our reasoning can be flawed. Even the most established scientific theories can be overturned by new evidence. So is there anything we can know with absolute certainty, or is all knowledge just the best we have so far, a provisional truth, waiting to be revised? Are we forever chasing certainty, but never quite catching it? A question that challenges the very nature of truth. Is there an afterlife? And if so, what is it like? Imagine the moment of passing. Where does the you go? Does it simply cease, like a flame extinguished? Or does it transform into something else, something beyond our current understanding? That's the mystery of the afterlife. For millennia, humans have pondered what happens after death. Is there a heaven, a hell, a reincarnation, or something stranger? Some believe in a continuation of consciousness, a journey to another realm, a reunion with loved ones. Others envision a merging with the universe, a return to a cosmic source, a state of pure energy, and still others suspect nothingness, a final, permanent end. The truth, it remains elusive, shrouded in mystery, a question that touches the very core of our mortality, our deepest fears, and our greatest hopes. What is the origin of the universe, and why does it exist? Picture the Big Bang, an explosion of unimaginable force, the birth of space, time, and matter itself. But what came before? What triggered this cosmic event, and why did it happen at all? That's the enigma of the universe's origin. Science can trace its evolution back to a singularity, an infinitely dense point. But what existed prior? Was there a cause, or was it a spontaneous, uncaused event? Some theories propose a multiverse, an infinite collection of universes, each with its own laws and properties. Others suggest a cyclical universe, expanding and contracting in an endless cycle of birth and death. Ultimately, the question of why anything exists at all, why there's something rather than nothing, remains one of the greatest mysteries, a puzzle that challenges our understanding of reality itself. Is time travel possible? And if so, what are its implications? Envision stepping into a machine and journeying to the past or the future. Could you witness historical events firsthand, change the course of history, meet your future self? That's the tantalizing possibility and the terrifying paradox of time travel. Physics allows for some theoretical possibilities, wormholes, cosmic strings, but the practical challenges seem insurmountable, and the implications, they're mind-boggling. The grandfather paradox, where you prevent your own birth, the butterfly effect, where small changes in the past have enormous consequences in the future. Time travel raises profound questions about causality, free will, and the very fabric of reality. Is the past fixed, or can it be altered? Is the future predetermined, or open to infinite possibilities? A concept that continues to fascinate and perplex. Can artificial intelligence ever achieve true consciousness? Imagine a machine with human-level intelligence, capable of learning, creating, and problem-solving, but could it also possess self-awareness, subjective experience, the feeling of being? That's the question of AI consciousness. Can consciousness arise from silicon and code, or is it unique to biological brains? Can a machine truly feel, or is it just simulating emotion? Some experts believe that sufficiently complex AI will inevitably develop consciousness. Others argue that consciousness is fundamentally different from computation, that machines can never truly be aware. The quest to create conscious AI raises profound ethical and philosophical questions. What rights would conscious machines have? What would their existence mean for humanity? A question that looms large as technology advances. What is the relationship between mind and body? Consider your thoughts, your feelings, your sensations. They seem so intimately connected to your physical body, your brain, your nervous system. But how do they interact? What is the link? That's the mind-body problem. How does the immaterial mind, the realm of thoughts and consciousness, relate to the material body, the realm of atoms and neurons? Are they two separate substances, interacting in mysterious ways? Or is the mind simply a product of the brain, an emergent property of its complex activity? Or is there a deeper, more unified explanation? The relationship between mind and body remains one of the most profound and enduring mysteries. It challenges our understanding of who we are, and the nature of existence itself. Is war ever justified? Or is pacifism the only moral stance? Imagine a parent shielding their child from a wild animal's attack. They might use force, might even use lethal means to protect their offspring. Is it wrong, or an act of love, of necessity? This gets to the core of the war question, doesn't it? Is violence always wrong, or can it sometimes be the lesser evil, a tragic choice made to prevent a greater harm? Pacifism the belief that all violence is wrong, presents a powerful ideal, a world without war, without bloodshed, a world of peace and understanding. But is such a world possible? In a world of aggression and injustice, the challenge remains, can force ever be a tool for good, or does it only beget more violence, more suffering? Is there a middle ground between endless conflict and absolute non-resistance? A profoundly difficult question. What is the role of government in ensuring social welfare? Picture a community where some families struggle to afford food, while others live in luxury. Should the community help those in need, provide support, so everyone has a chance to thrive? This is the essence of social welfare, isn't it? What's the responsibility of a society, through its governing structures, to care for its members, to ensure their basic needs are met? Some argue for strong social programs, providing healthcare, education, housing, a safety net for the vulnerable. They contend this creates a more just and equitable society. Others believe government involvement should be limited, that individuals should be responsible for their own well-being, and that a free market best serves everyone's needs. The debate continues about how best to create a flourishing society. Is censorship ever justified, or should free speech be absolute? Consider a message designed to incite hatred, to promote violence against a specific group. Should that message be allowed to spread, or should it be suppressed, to protect those who might be harmed? This is the censorship dilemma, isn't it? The clash between the fundamental right to express oneself and the potential consequences of that expression, the harm it might cause. Absolute free speech means the freedom to say anything, without restriction. But does that freedom extend to hate speech, to incitement, to words that can lead to violence and oppression? The core issue is, where do we draw the line? What speech is too dangerous, too harmful, to be allowed? Who decides? And how do we balance the right to speak with the responsibility to protect? A complex and crucial question. What is the value of art, and how does it contribute to society? Imagine a world without stories, without music, without images that stir the soul. Would it be a world diminished, less vibrant, less meaningful? What does art bring to our lives? This is the question of art's value, isn't it? Is art merely a form of entertainment, a pleasant diversion, or is it something more essential, something that nourishes our spirits and enriches our communities? Art can inspire us, challenge us, connect us. It can express our deepest emotions, explore our shared humanity, and give voice to the voiceless. It can be a catalyst for change, a source of beauty, and a testament to the power of human creativity. The enduring question, what does art give to a society? What role does it play in shaping our culture, our values, our understanding of ourselves? This celebrates the enduring power of human expression. Is there a difference between right and wrong, or is it all perspective? Picture someone praised as a hero by one group, condemned as a villain by another. Was their act truly right or wrong, or does its morality depend entirely on who is judging it? This is the challenge of moral relativism, isn't it? The idea that right and wrong are not fixed, universal truths, but rather subjective judgments, varying from person to person, culture to culture. If morality is purely a matter of perspective, then there's no basis for saying that one action is objectively better than another. There's no ground for moral progress, no reason to strive for a more just and compassionate world. The fundamental question, is there a true difference between right and wrong? Where does that difference come from? And how can we know what is truly good? This lies at the heart of our ethical lives. Is reality just how we perceive it? Imagine a sunset, a blaze of color in the sky. Is that beauty out there, existing independently of our eyes and brains? Or is it a creation of our perception, a symphony of signals interpreted by our minds? This brings us to a fundamental question. What is reality really? We experience the world through our senses, sight, sound, touch. But do those senses give us an accurate picture of what's actually there? Color, sound, even time itself, these may not be objective properties of the universe. They might be constructs, interpretations created by our brains to make sense of the world. So, is the reality we experience the one true reality, or is it a kind of illusion, a personalized, subjective interpretation of something far stranger and more mysterious? It's a question that challenges our understanding of everything we think we know. Is the universe infinite? Picture the night sky, filled with countless stars, stretching out in every direction. Does it ever end? Does space go on forever, or does it have a boundary, a limit? This is the question of the universe's size, its extent, its very nature. We can only observe a tiny fraction of it, the observable universe. But what lies beyond? Is the universe like a giant sphere, expanding into nothingness, or is it infinite, without any edges or boundaries? And if it's infinite, what does that even mean? How can something have no end? The human mind struggles to grasp the concept of infinity, yet the universe may be just that, a vast, boundless, and ultimately unknowable expanse. A truly mind-boggling concept. Are numbers real or invented? Consider the number pi, a seemingly simple ratio, yet it describes the fundamental geometry of circles, a shape found everywhere in nature. Is pi a human invention, a tool we created to understand the world? Or is it a fundamental truth, existing independently of our minds? This question delves into the nature of mathematics itself. Are numbers just abstract symbols, useful for calculation? Or do they have a deeper, more profound reality? Mathematics seems to describe the universe with incredible precision, from the orbits of planets to the behavior of subatomic particles. But why? Why does something that exists only in our minds work so perfectly to explain the physical world? Are numbers a key to unlocking the secrets of the universe, or just a clever trick we use to make sense of it all? It's a question that blurs the line between the abstract and the concrete. What makes something conscious? Imagine a complex computer, capable of learning, problem-solving, and even creating art. Is it intelligent? Yes, but is it conscious? Does it have an inner life, a sense of self, a feeling of being? This is the mystery of consciousness, isn't it? What is this thing that makes us aware, that allows us to experience the world, to have thoughts and feelings? We can study the brain, map its activity, but we still don't understand how those physical processes give rise to subjective experience. What is the spark that ignites consciousness? Is it a unique property of biological brains, or can it arise in any sufficiently complex system, whether organic or artificial? We can't even define consciousness with certainty, let alone explain its origins. Is death the end or a transformation? Picture a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. It seems to disappear, to cease to exist, as one form, only to emerge, reborn, as something entirely different. Is that what happens to us when we die? This is the ultimate question, isn't it? What happens after death? Does our consciousness simply vanish, like a flame extinguished, or does it undergo some kind of transition, a change of state, a journey to the unknown? Many cultures and religions believe in an afterlife, a continuation of existence in some other form, a heaven, a reincarnation, a spiritual realm. Others believe in oblivion, a final permanent end. But no one truly knows. Death remains the greatest mystery of all, the one question that unites us all, and the one answer that lies forever beyond our reach. What is the good life, and how can one achieve it? Imagine a bird soaring through the sky, effortlessly, gracefully. Is that the good life? Or imagine a tree, standing tall and strong, providing shelter and sustenance. Is that the good life? This question asks, what does it mean to live well? What constitutes a fulfilling, meaningful existence? Is it about pleasure, happiness, success, or is it something more profound? Philosophers have debated this for centuries. Some emphasize virtue, living in accordance with moral principles. Others point to happiness, a state of joy and contentment. Still others focus on meaning, finding purpose and significance in life. The search for the good life is a personal journey, a quest to define our own values and to discover what truly matters to us. It's about finding our own path, our own way to flourish and to thrive. Do humans have souls? And if so, what is their nature? Picture your reflection in a mirror. You see your physical body, your face, your form. But is there something more, something intangible, something that goes beyond the flesh and bone? This is the question of the soul, isn't it? Do we have an immaterial essence, a spiritual core that animates our being? And if so, what is its nature? Many religious traditions believe in a soul, a separate entity that survives death and carries our consciousness, our identity, into the afterlife. Others view the soul as a metaphor, a symbol for our deepest selves, our values, our character. Science has not found any evidence of a soul as a separate physical entity. Yet the question persists: what is the source of our consciousness, our sense of self? Is it purely a product of our brains, or is there something more, something we have yet to understand? What is beauty, and is it subjective or objective? Consider a breathtaking sunset, a majestic mountain range, a delicate flower. Are these things beautiful in and of themselves, or is their beauty simply a matter of personal taste, a feeling in the eye of the beholder? This is the question of beauty's nature, its essence, its source. Is it something objective, a quality that exists independently of our perception, or is it entirely subjective, a matter of individual preference and cultural conditioning? Throughout history, philosophers and artists have debated this. Some have sought to define universal standards of beauty based on mathematical proportions or aesthetic principles. Others have argued that beauty is inherently subjective, varying from person to person and from culture to culture. The question remains: is there a true beauty, a universal aesthetic that transcends individual taste? Or is beauty simply a reflection of our own minds, our own experiences, our own unique way of seeing the world? Can we trust our senses to perceive reality accurately? Imagine you're dreaming. In your dream, everything feels real: the sights, the sounds, the sensations. But when you wake up, you realize it was all an illusion, a fabrication of your mind. This raises a fundamental question. Can we be sure that our waking senses are any more reliable? Our eyes, our ears, our touch, do they give us a true and accurate picture of the world around us? Our senses can be deceived by illusions, by distortions, by the limitations of our own biology. Our brains interpret sensory information, and those interpretations can be influenced by our expectations, our beliefs, our biases. So how can we know what's real? Can we trust our senses to give us an objective account of reality? Or are we forever trapped within the confines of our own subjective perception, our own unique and limited way of experiencing the world? Is there such a thing as objective truth? Picture two people arguing about politics, or religion, or art. Each believes their own view is right, and the other's is wrong. But can both be true? Or is there an objective truth, a single, correct answer that exists independently of their opinions? This is the question of truth's nature, its existence, its accessibility. Is there a reality out there, with facts and truths, that are independent of what anyone believes? Or is truth simply a matter of perspective, a product of individual or cultural viewpoints? If there is objective truth, how can we know it? Can we ever be certain that we found it? Or are we forever limited to our own subjective understanding, our own fallible attempts to grasp the nature of reality? The search for truth, it's a central quest of human inquiry, a driving force behind science, philosophy, and our everyday attempts to make sense of the world. What is the nature of love, and how does it differ from other emotions? Think about the feeling you have for a close friend compared to the feeling you have for a romantic partner. Both are powerful emotions, both involve connection, but they feel different. What is that difference? This question explores the essence of love, its unique qualities, its distinct character. Is love a single emotion, or a complex blend of many different feelings? How does it compare to other emotions, like joy, sadness, anger, or fear? Love can take many forms: romantic love, familial love, platonic love, selfless love, passionate love. Each has its own nuances, its own intensity, its own way of shaping our thoughts and behaviors. What makes love so powerful, so transformative? Is it simply a chemical reaction in the brain, a biological drive to connect and bond? Or is it something more, something mysterious, something that transcends our understanding? Can we ever truly understand infinity? Imagine trying to count all the stars in the sky. You could count forever, adding one star after another, and you'd still never reach the end. That's a glimpse of infinity, a quantity without limit, a concept that stretches our minds to the breaking point. We use infinity in mathematics to describe things that go on forever, like the number line or the expansion of the universe. But can we ever truly grasp it? Can our finite brains, confined to a finite world, ever fully comprehend something that has no end? Infinity challenges our intuition, our logic, our very sense of what's possible. It's a concept that borders on the paradoxical, a mathematical tool, and a philosophical enigma, a mystery that continues to fascinate and perplex. What is the nature of reality? Picture a chameleon, changing its colors to blend in with its surroundings. What color is it really? The color it appears to be, or the color it would be if no one were there to see it? This brings us to a fundamental question. What is reality itself? Is there an objective world, existing independently of our perception, or is reality somehow shaped, or even created, by the way we perceive it? Our senses, our minds, our cultural backgrounds, all influence how we experience the world. But does that mean there's no true reality? Or is there a deeper, more fundamental level of existence that transcends our individual perspectives? A question that has puzzled thinkers for centuries. Is morality absolute, or is it relative to culture and individual? Consider a culture where a certain practice is considered perfectly normal, even virtuous, while in another culture, that same practice is seen as deeply wrong, even abhorrent. Who is right? Both? Neither? This is the question of moral relativism, isn't it? Are there universal moral principles that apply to everyone, everywhere? Or are our ideas of right and wrong simply products of our upbringing, our cultural context, our personal beliefs? If morality is relative, then there's no basis for judging other cultures or other individuals. But if morality is absolute, then how do we know what those universal principles are? And who gets to decide? A debate that shapes our understanding of ethics and justice. Is happiness the ultimate goal of life? Or is there more to it? Imagine achieving everything you've ever wanted: wealth, fame, success. But what if, despite all your accomplishments, you still felt a sense of emptiness, a lack of fulfillment? Would you consider your life a success? This question probes the nature of the good life and the role of happiness within it. Is happiness the ultimate goal, the highest good, the measure of a life well lived? Or are there other things that matter just as much, or even more? Meaning, purpose, connection, creativity, contribution. Is it possible to be happy without these other things? And is it possible to live a meaningful life, even if you're not always happy? A question that guides our search for fulfillment. What is the source of human rights? And are they universal? Picture a world where some people have basic rights, like freedom of speech and freedom from torture, while others are denied those same rights, simply because of their race, their gender, or their beliefs. Is that just? This raises the question of human rights, their origin, their scope, and their validity. Where do these rights come from? Are they granted by governments, or are they inherent in our very nature as human beings? Are human rights universal, applying to everyone, regardless of their nationality, their culture, or their circumstances? Or are they culturally relative, varying from society to society? And if they are universal, what are they? And how do we protect them? A question that shapes our understanding of justice and equality. Is democracy the best form of government, or are there better alternatives? Consider a society where everyone has a voice and a say in how they are governed. Is that the ideal form of government, or are there other ways to organize a society that might be more efficient, more stable, or more just? This is the question of political systems and the search for the best way to govern ourselves. Democracy, with its emphasis on individual rights and popular sovereignty, has become a dominant model in the modern world. But are there alternatives? Are there forms of government that might be better suited to certain societies or certain circumstances? And what are the trade-offs between different systems, between freedom and order, between individual rights and collective well-being? a question that continues to shape the course of history. What is justice, and how can it be achieved in society? Imagine a group of children playing a game. One child cheats, taking an unfair advantage. What happens next? How do the others respond? What feels right? This simple scenario touches on the core of justice, doesn't it? What is fair? What is equitable? How do we create a society where everyone gets what they deserve? Justice can take many forms: criminal justice, social justice, economic justice, each seeking to address different kinds of imbalances and to correct different kinds of wrongs. But what are the principles that should guide us? Should justice be about punishment, about retribution, or should it be about rehabilitation, about restoration? And how do we ensure that justice is applied equally, regardless of wealth, power, or social status? A question that shapes our laws, our institutions, and our very understanding of what it means to live in a just society. Can we ever truly know another person's mind? Picture yourself looking into someone's eyes. You see their smile, their frown, their expression, but do you really know what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what's going on inside their head? This is the mystery of other minds, isn't it? We can communicate, we can empathize, we can try to understand one another, but can we ever truly bridge the gap between our own subjective experience and the inner world of someone else? We rely on language, behavior, and inference to make sense of what others are thinking and feeling, but are these tools ever enough? Can we ever be completely certain that we're seeing the world, or ourselves, through another person's eyes? The challenge of understanding other minds, it's a fundamental limitation of our existence, and a source of both connection and isolation, a question that lies at the heart of our relationships and our social interactions. What is the nature of time, and does it flow linearly? Envision a river, flowing from its source to the sea. It seems to move in one direction, always forward, never backward. Is time like that river, a linear progression, moving inexorably from past to future? Or is time something more complex, more fluid, more mysterious? Physics suggests that time is relative, that it can speed up, slow down, even bend, depending on gravity and motion. Some theories propose that time is an illusion, that all moments, past, present, and future, exist simultaneously in a block universe. Others explore the possibility of time loops, or alternate timelines, where the past can be changed, or the future can be glimpsed. The true nature of time, its flow, its direction, its very existence, remains one of the most profound and perplexing questions in science and philosophy, a question that challenges our intuitive understanding of reality itself. Is there life after death? And if so, what form does it take? Imagine a candle, burning brightly, then flickering, and going out. Does the light simply disappear, or does it transform into something else, something we can't see or measure? This is the age-old question of what happens after we die, isn't it? Does our consciousness cease to exist, our individual identity extinguished, or does it continue, in some other form, in some other realm? Beliefs about the afterlife vary widely, from reincarnation, to heaven and hell, to emerging with a cosmic consciousness, to a simple, final end. But no one can say for sure what lies beyond the veil. If anything, the question of life after death touches on our deepest fears and our greatest hopes. It's a question that has shaped religions, cultures, and our understanding of mortality, a mystery that confronts us all. What is the purpose of suffering, and can it have meaning? Picture someone enduring great hardship, loss, pain. Is that suffering pointless, random, cruel, or can it somehow lead to something more, to growth, to understanding, to a deeper appreciation of life? This is the question of suffering's role, its place in the human experience, its potential for meaning. Why do bad things happen to good people? Why is there pain in the world? Some believe that suffering is a test, a trial, a way to strengthen our character and to deepen our compassion. Others find meaning in helping others who are suffering, in alleviating pain, and in working for a more just world. But can suffering itself ever be truly meaningful, or is it simply a tragic part of existence, a burden we must bear, without any inherent purpose? A question that challenges our faith, our resilience, and our understanding of the human condition. Is there a collective unconscious, as Jung suggested? Imagine having a feeling, a sense of knowing something, without ever having learned it, a shared intuition, a common thread that connects you to others across time and space. Could that be a hint of something deeper, a shared reservoir of human experience? This idea, the collective unconscious, proposed by Carl Jung, suggests that beneath our individual minds, there lies a universal layer of the psyche, a storehouse of archetypes, symbols, and instincts shared by all humanity. Our myths, legends, and recurring themes in stories and dreams, evidence of this shared unconscious. Do we tap into this collective wisdom, this ancestral knowledge, without even realizing it? A concept that blurs the lines between individual and universal. What is the nature of dreams, and do they have significance? Picture yourself in a vivid dream, a world of strange landscapes, bizarre encounters, and powerful emotions. Where does this world come from? What does it mean? Are dreams just random firings of the brain, or do they hold some deeper significance? Dreams have fascinated humanity for millennia. Ancient cultures saw them as messages from the gods, or glimpses into the future. Freud believed they were expressions of repressed desires, while Jung saw them as symbolic journeys of self-discovery. Are dreams a way for our unconscious minds to process emotions, to work through unresolved conflicts, to explore our fears and hopes, or are they simply a byproduct of brain activity, a meaningless jumble of images and sensations? The mystery of dreams continues to intrigue. Can we control our thoughts, or are they determined by external factors? Imagine trying to clear your mind, to focus on a single thought, but your mind keeps wandering, jumping from one idea to another, pulled along by a stream of associations. Can you truly stop this flow, or are your thoughts beyond your control? This question explores the nature of free will and the extent to which we can direct our own mental processes. Are we the masters of our minds, or are we simply puppets, controlled by external stimuli, past experiences, and unconscious impulses? We can learn techniques to focus our attention, to manage our emotions, to influence our thoughts to some degree. But are we ever truly in complete control, or are our thoughts always shaped and constrained by forces beyond our conscious awareness? A fundamental question about the nature of consciousness: is there such a thing as fate, or do we create our own destiny? Envision two paths diverging in front of you. You choose one, and your life unfolds in a certain way. But what if you had chosen the other path? Would your life have been completely different? Was your choice truly free, or was it always meant to be? This is the age-old question of fate versus free will. Are our lives predetermined, written in the stars, or are we the authors of our own stories, shaping our destinies with every decision we make? Some believe in a predetermined plan, a cosmic script that dictates our every move. Others champion the power of free will, the idea that we have the agency to choose our own paths and to create our own futures. The interplay of chance and choice. It's a central theme of human existence. What is the relationship between science and religion? Consider a scientist looking through a telescope and seeing the vastness and beauty of the cosmos, and consider a religious person looking at the same scene and feeling a sense of awe and wonder and the presence of something divine. Are these two perspectives in conflict, or can they coexist? This question explores the complex relationship between science and religion, two powerful forces that have shaped human history and continue to influence our understanding of the world and our place within it. Science seeks to explain the natural world through observation, experimentation, and reason. Religion seeks to provide meaning, purpose, and moral guidance, often through faith and spiritual experience. Are science and religion inherently opposed, locked in a battle for truth, or can they be reconciled, offering complementary perspectives on the mysteries of existence? The relationship between these two domains, it's a source of ongoing dialogue and debate. Can ethics be derived from reason alone, or do they require faith? Imagine a group of people trying to decide what's right and wrong. Some rely on logic, on careful thought, on weighing the consequences of their actions. Others turn to their beliefs, their religious texts, their sense of a higher power. Can both be valid? This question explores the foundations of morality. Can we arrive at ethical principles through reason alone, through rational inquiry and logical deduction? Or do we need something more, a set of beliefs, a spiritual framework to guide our actions? Some philosophers argue that reason can provide a solid basis for ethics, that we can discover universal moral principles through logic and empathy. Others contend that faith is essential, that morality is grounded in divine commands or spiritual truths. The debate continues. At the heart of our moral lives, is there a universal standard for what is good and evil? Picture someone performing an act that is celebrated as heroic in one culture and condemned as barbaric in another. Is that act truly good or evil, or does its moral status depend entirely on the context? This is the question of moral objectivity. Are there universal standards of right and wrong that apply to everyone, everywhere? Or are our moral judgments simply products of our culture, our upbringing, our individual perspectives? If there is a universal standard, where does it come from? From a divine source, from human nature, from some fundamental principle of reason? And if there isn't, what does that mean for our ability to judge others or to strive for a better world? A profound and challenging question. What is the nature of free will if the universe is deterministic? Envision a complex machine, a clockwork mechanism, where every gear turns in perfect accordance with the laws of physics. Every movement is predictable, every outcome is predetermined. Are we, in a sense, like that machine? This question delves into the tension between free will and determinism. If the universe operates according to fixed laws, if every event is caused by prior events, then are our choices truly free? Or are they simply the inevitable result of a chain of cause and effect? Some argue that free will is an illusion, that our sense of choice is simply a byproduct of our complex brains and our limited knowledge of the universe. Others maintain that free will is real, that we have the power to act independently of causal chains and to shape our own destinies. A question that challenges our understanding of agency. Can we ever achieve world peace? And if so, how? Imagine a world without war, without conflict, without violence. A world where nations cooperate, where people understand and respect one another, where differences are resolved through dialogue and diplomacy. Is such a world possible? This question explores the possibility of global harmony and the conditions that might make it a reality. Is world peace a utopian dream, a naive ideal, or is it a goal that we can strive for and perhaps even achieve? What would it take to create such a world? Global cooperation, economic equality, cultural understanding, a fundamental shift in human consciousness, or is conflict an inevitable part of human nature, a force that we can only manage but never fully eliminate? A question that drives our hopes and our struggles. What is the meaning of existence if there is no God? Picture a vast, empty universe, devoid of any divine presence, any higher power, any transcendent purpose. Is existence in such a universe inherently meaningless, a random accident without any ultimate significance? This question confronts the challenge of finding meaning in a secular world, a world without a God or a divine plan. If there is no afterlife, no eternal reward, no cosmic purpose, then what is the point of it all? Some find meaning in human connection, in love, in friendship, in the pursuit of knowledge and beauty, in the creation of art and culture. Others find meaning in contributing to society, in working for a better future, in leaving a positive legacy. The search for meaning in a world without God is a central task of human life. Can we ever truly understand the mind of another species? Imagine trying to communicate with a dolphin. You can observe its behavior, its clicks and whistles, its complex social interactions, but can you ever truly know what it's experiencing, what it feels, what it thinks? This question explores the boundaries of interspecies understanding, the challenge of bridging the gap between our human consciousness and the minds of other animals. We can study animal behavior, their intelligence, their emotions, but can we ever fully grasp their subjective reality? Do they have a sense of self? Do they experience joy, sorrow, fear in the same way we do? Are their minds fundamentally different from ours, or are there underlying similarities that we can never fully access? A mystery that highlights our connection to and separation from the animal kingdom. What is the origin of consciousness in the universe? Picture the vastness of space, filled with galaxies, stars, and planets. On one tiny planet, Earth, life arose, and with it, consciousness. But how? What sparked this incredible phenomenon? This is one of the greatest mysteries in science and philosophy. How did consciousness emerge from matter, from the physical processes of the brain? What is the spark that ignited awareness, that gave rise to subjective experience? Did consciousness arise gradually as biological complexity increased, or was there a sudden leap, a unique event that set us apart? Is it a fundamental property of the universe, present in some form throughout existence, or is it a rare and precious gift, unique to life on Earth? A question that delves into the heart of existence itself. Is there a limit to human knowledge, or can we know everything? Imagine trying to learn everything there is to know about every subject, in every field, from the smallest subatomic particle to the vastness of the cosmos. Is that even possible? Is there a point where knowledge becomes unattainable? This question explores the boundaries of human understanding, the limits of our capacity to know. Can we, as a species, eventually uncover all the secrets of the universe? Or are there fundamental mysteries that will forever remain beyond our grasp? Some believe that there are inherent limitations to human knowledge, imposed by the nature of reality itself, or by the constraints of our own minds. Others are more optimistic, believing that with enough time and ingenuity, we can eventually unravel all the mysteries and achieve a complete understanding of everything. A question that drives our quest for knowledge: what is the nature of space and time, and are they absolute or relative? Envision yourself traveling through space at incredible speeds. Would time pass for you at the same rate as for someone standing still? Would the distance between 2 points remain the same? This question delves into the fundamental nature of space and time. Are they absolute, unchanging, and independent of our motion or perspective? Or are they relative, flexible, and intertwined in a way that defies our intuitive understanding? Einstein's theory of relativity revolutionized our understanding of space and time, revealing them to be interconnected and dependent on gravity and motion. But are there even deeper mysteries about the fabric of reality itself? Are space and time fundamental or emergent, continuous or discrete? A question that challenges our perception of the universe. Is there a multiverse? And if so, what are its implications? Picture our universe as just one bubble in a vast, infinite sea of other bubbles, each a separate universe, with its own laws of physics, its own set of possibilities. Is this a reality? This is the concept of the multiverse, the idea that our universe is not unique, but rather one of many, perhaps infinitely many, parallel universes. If true, what would this mean for our understanding of existence? Would it mean that every possible outcome, every choice we could make, plays out in some other universe? Would it challenge our notions of reality, causality, and the very nature of existence? The multiverse, if it exists, would open up a realm of possibilities beyond our wildest imagination. Can machines ever have rights? And if so, on what basis? Imagine a robot, incredibly advanced, capable of complex thought, feeling, and even self-awareness. Should that robot have the same rights as a human? Or are rights something that only apply to biological beings? This question explores the ethical implications of artificial intelligence and the possibility of creating machines that deserve moral consideration. If a machine can suffer, can it be wronged? If a machine can contribute to society, should it be recognized? The debate about machine rights touches on fundamental questions about what it means to be a person, what qualities make us deserving of moral respect, and whether those qualities can ever be replicated in a non-biological entity. A question that grows more urgent as AI technology advances: is there a difference between human and animal intelligence? Picture a dog solving a complex puzzle, or a chimpanzee using tools to obtain food. They demonstrate remarkable intelligence, but is it the same kind of intelligence that humans possess? This question delves into the nature of intelligence itself and the ways in which it manifests across different species. Humans have developed language, abstract thought, and complex reasoning, but animals also exhibit problem-solving skills, social intelligence, and emotional awareness. Are human and animal intelligence fundamentally different, separated by an unbridgeable gap, or are they different points on a spectrum, with humans possessing a more advanced form of the same underlying capacity? A question that challenges our understanding of our place in the natural world. What is the purpose of life if there is no afterlife? Imagine living your life, knowing that when it ends, it's truly over. There's no continuation of consciousness, no reward, no punishment. Would that make your life meaningless, or would it give it even more meaning, more urgency? This question explores the search for purpose in a world without an afterlife. If there's no eternal reward or punishment, then what is the point of our existence? What gives our lives meaning and significance? Some find purpose in the present moment, in experiencing joy, connection, and beauty. Others find it in contributing to something larger than themselves, in leaving a positive legacy, or in making the world a better place. The quest for meaning, in the face of mortality, is a central human endeavor. Can we ever achieve true equality in society? Envision a society where everyone has the same opportunities, the same resources, the same respect, regardless of their background, their identity, or their circumstances. Is such a society possible? This question tackles the challenge of social justice and the pursuit of equality in a world marked by inequality and discrimination. Can we create a society where everyone is truly treated as equal? Throughout history, societies have struggled with issues of race, gender, class, and other forms of oppression. Are these inequalities inherent to human nature, or are they social constructs that we can overcome? And what steps can we take to create a more just and equitable world? A question that drives social movements and political reform. What is the nature of beauty in art and nature? Consider a painting, a masterpiece of human creativity, and a sunset, a breathtaking display of natural wonder. What makes both of them beautiful? What qualities do they share? This question explores the essence of beauty and its presence in both the human-made world and the natural world. Is beauty a subjective experience, a matter of personal taste, or are there objective standards, qualities that make something inherently beautiful? Is beauty a source of pleasure, a way to connect with something larger than ourselves, or a reflection of some deeper truth about the universe? The search for beauty. It's a fundamental human drive, a quest to find meaning and wonder in the world around us. Is there a difference between human and animal suffering? Imagine a dog injured and in pain, whimpering, struggling to move. It clearly suffers, but does it suffer in the same way a human does? Does it have the same awareness of its own pain, the same fear of the future? This question explores the nature of suffering itself and whether it's a uniquely human experience or something shared by other species. We know that animals can feel pain, but do they also experience emotional suffering? Do they have a sense of loss, of grief, of despair? The answer has profound implications for how we treat animals, for our understanding of their moral status, and for our own place in the natural world. A complex and emotionally charged inquiry. What is the ethics of animal testing and experimentation? Picture a lab animal confined in a cage, subjected to painful procedures for the sake of scientific research. Is that treatment justified? Are the potential benefits to humans worth the suffering inflicted on the animal? This question delves into the ethical dilemmas surrounding animal experimentation a practice that has contributed to medical breakthroughs, but also raised serious moral concerns. What are our obligations to other species? Do animals have rights? The debate involves weighing the potential benefits of research against the real harm inflicted on animals, seeking a balance between scientific progress and compassion for other living beings, a question that challenges our values and our understanding of what is right. Can we ever achieve sustainable development? Imagine a world where human societies thrive without depleting the planet's resources, without causing irreversible damage to the environment. Is that a realistic vision, or is it a utopian fantasy? This question tackles the challenge of sustainability, the quest to meet the needs of the present, without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Can we find a way to live in harmony with nature? The obstacles are immense: climate change, resource depletion, pollution, population growth. But the stakes are even higher: the survival of our planet and the well-being of all its inhabitants. The pursuit of sustainability, it's a defining challenge of our time. What is the nature of mental illness, and how should it be treated? Picture someone struggling with severe depression, unable to find joy, unable to function, trapped in a cycle of despair. Is this a medical condition, a chemical imbalance in the brain, or is it something more complex, a product of social factors or personal experiences? This question explores the nature of mental illness and the best way to understand and treat those who suffer from it. Are mental illnesses purely biological disorders requiring medical intervention, or do they also have psychological and social dimensions? The debate involves questions of stigma, of access to care, of the role of society in promoting mental health, and of the most humane and effective ways to alleviate suffering, an issue that affects millions and demands our compassion and our understanding. Can we ever achieve true equality of opportunity? Envision a society where everyone, regardless of their background, their race, their gender, their economic status, has the same chance to succeed, to reach their full potential. Is that a realistic goal? This question tackles the challenge of creating a just and equitable society, a society where everyone has a fair shot, where opportunities are not limited by arbitrary barriers. But what does equality of opportunity really mean? Does it mean providing everyone with the same resources, or does it mean addressing the systemic inequalities that give some people an unfair advantage? And how do we overcome the deeply entrenched prejudices and biases that continue to shape our world? A question that drives the fight for social justice. Is there a moral obligation to help others? And to what extent? Imagine seeing someone in distress, struggling to carry a heavy load, or in danger of being harmed. Do you have a responsibility to help? And if so, how much? How far should you go? This question explores the nature of altruism and the extent of our moral duties to those around us. Do we have a general obligation to assist others simply because they are human beings, or are our obligations limited to those we know or those in our community? Some argue for a strong duty of beneficence, suggesting that we should do everything in our power to alleviate suffering and to promote the well-being of others. Others believe that our obligations are more limited, that we should primarily focus on avoiding harm and respecting individual autonomy, a question that shapes our understanding of ethical responsibility. Can we ever forgive the unforgivable? Picture someone who has committed a terrible act, a betrayal, a crime, a deep and lasting wrong. Can the victim or society ever truly forgive that person? Can such an act ever be redeemed? This question delves into the nature of forgiveness, its limits, and its potential for healing and reconciliation. Is there a point at which forgiveness becomes impossible, when the wrong is so great that it can never be overcome? Some believe that forgiveness is always possible and always desirable, that it's a path to personal liberation and social harmony. Others argue that forgiveness should be conditional, depending on remorse and accountability, and that some acts are simply beyond redemption, a question that challenges our capacity for compassion and our understanding of justice. What is the value of suffering in personal growth? Imagine someone facing a great challenge, a loss, a hardship, a period of intense pain? Can that experience, that suffering, actually make them stronger, more resilient, more compassionate? This question explores the complex relationship between suffering and personal development. Is suffering always negative, a force to be avoided at all costs, or can it sometimes be a catalyst for growth, a way to learn, to mature, to discover hidden strengths? Some believe that suffering can lead to greater self-awareness, empathy, and a deeper appreciation of life. Others argue that suffering is inherently destructive and that we should focus on minimizing it rather than seeking to find meaning within it. A question that grapples with the paradox of pain: is there a duty to obey the law, even if it is unjust? Envision a society with laws that are discriminatory, oppressive, or fundamentally unfair. Do citizens have a moral obligation to obey those laws, or do they have a right, or even a duty, to resist them? This question tackles the tension between legal authority and moral conscience, the conflict between our obligation to follow the rules and our responsibility to stand up for what is right. Are laws always synonymous with justice? Some argue that social order and stability require obedience to the law, even when it is imperfect. Others maintain that there is a higher moral law, a set of universal principles that should take precedence over unjust laws, a question that drives social movements and civil disobedience. What is the role of luck in success and failure? Picture two people, both equally talented and hard-working, yet one achieves great success, while the other faces constant setbacks and struggles. What accounts for this difference? Is it skill, effort, or something else? This question explores the influence of chance and fortune on our lives, the extent to which our successes and failures are determined by factors beyond our control. How much of what we achieve is due to our own abilities, and how much is due to luck? Some believe that success is primarily a matter of hard work and talent, and that luck plays only a minor role. Others argue that luck is a powerful force that can significantly impact our opportunities and our outcomes, regardless of our efforts, a question that humbles us and reminds us of the unpredictable nature of life. Is there a right to die? And under what circumstances? Imagine someone facing unbearable suffering, a terminal illness, a life filled with pain and despair. Should they have the right to choose when and how their life ends? This question explores the complex ethical and legal issues surrounding assisted suicide and euthanasia, the debate over whether individuals have the autonomy to make decisions about their own death. Is it a matter of personal choice or a societal concern? The debate involves questions of compassion, autonomy, and the role of the medical profession, weighing the desire to alleviate suffering against the sanctity of life and the potential for abuse. A deeply personal and often controversial issue. What is the nature of addiction, and can it be overcome? Picture someone trapped in a cycle of dependence on drugs, alcohol, or some other substance or behavior. They know it's harming them, but they can't seem to break free. What is this force that holds them captive? This question delves into the nature of addiction, its causes, its effects, and the possibility of recovery. Is addiction a disease, a brain disorder, or a moral failing, a lack of willpower? Can addiction be overcome? What are the most effective treatments, and what role does society play in creating and perpetuating the conditions that lead to addiction, a challenging and pervasive problem with profound implications for individuals and communities? Can we ever achieve true democracy, or is it always flawed? Envision a society where every citizen has an equal voice, an equal say in how they are governed, where power is truly vested in the people. Is that a realistic ideal, or is democracy always destined to fall short? This question explores the challenges of democratic governance, the obstacles to achieving true representation, and the potential for corruption, inequality, and the abuse of power. Can a system of government ever perfectly reflect the will of the people, The pursuit of democracy involves ongoing efforts to reform institutions, to protect individual rights, and to ensure that all citizens have a meaningful role in shaping their own future, a never-ending journey. What is the role of media in shaping public opinion? Imagine watching the news and seeing a story about a particular event or a particular group of people. How does that story affect your perception? Does it inform you, or does it influence you? This question tackles the power of media, its ability to shape our understanding of the world, to influence our beliefs, and to sway our opinions. What role does media play in a democratic society? Is it a neutral source of information, a watchdog holding power accountable, or is it a tool for propaganda, a vehicle for promoting certain agendas and manipulating public sentiment? A question that highlights the importance of media literacy and critical thinking. Is there a limit to free speech? And where should it be drawn? Consider someone expressing hateful views, advocating violence, or inciting discrimination. Should those words be protected under the banner of free speech, or should they be restricted to prevent harm? This question grapples with the boundaries of free expression, the tension between the right to speak one's mind and the responsibility to protect others from harm. Where do we draw the line? What speech is too dangerous, too offensive, too damaging to be allowed? Who should decide? And how do we balance the values of individual liberty with the need for social order and the protection of vulnerable groups? A question that lies at the heart of our democratic values. Can we ever know if we are living in a simulation? Imagine characters in a video game, aware of their world, their routines, their interactions. Could they ever discover that their reality is just lines of code, a complex program running on a computer? This question explores the possibility that our own reality is a simulation created by some advanced civilization for reasons we can't fathom. It's a mind-bending concept, popularized by science fiction and taken seriously by some philosophers and scientists. The problem is, any test we could devise, any experiment we could run, would itself be part of the simulation. We might be living in a digital world, and we'd never, ever know. A truly unsettling thought. What is the nature of free will in a quantum universe? Picture a tiny particle existing in multiple states at once, its behavior governed by probability, not certainty. Does this uncertainty, this inherent randomness, give rise to free will? This question delves into the intersection of quantum physics and the age-old debate about free will. If the universe at its most fundamental level is probabilistic, does that leave room for genuine choice? Some argue that quantum randomness provides a foundation for free will, suggesting that our decisions are not entirely determined by prior events. Others contend that randomness is not the same as freedom, and that our choices may still be constrained, even in a quantum universe. A complex and fascinating area of inquiry. Can we ever achieve true happiness? And what does it look like? Imagine someone who has everything they could ever want: wealth, success, love, but they still feel a nagging sense of dissatisfaction, a lack of inner peace. Is that true happiness? This question explores the elusive nature of happiness and the quest to define and attain a truly fulfilling life. Is happiness a fleeting emotion, a temporary state of pleasure, or is it something more enduring, a deep sense of well-being and contentment? What are the ingredients of true happiness? Is it about external circumstances or internal states? Is it about achievement or acceptance? The search for happiness, it's a universal human pursuit. What is the relationship between individual freedom and social order? Envision a society where everyone is completely free to do whatever they want, without any rules or restrictions. Would that society be a utopia or a chaotic mess? This question grapples with the tension between individual liberty and the need for social order. How much freedom should we have, and what limits, if any, are necessary to maintain a stable and functioning society? The debate involves questions of law, authority, and the role of government, weighing the importance of individual autonomy against the need for collective well-being and the prevention of harm. a balancing act that shapes our political systems and our social contracts? Is there a universal human nature, or are we all different? Consider the vast diversity of human cultures, beliefs, and behaviors across the globe. Are we all fundamentally the same, sharing a common human nature, or are we shaped primarily by our environment and our individual experiences? This question explores the age-old debate about nature versus nurture. Are there core traits and tendencies that are inherent to all human beings, or are we primarily products of our upbringing and our social conditioning? The answer has implications for our understanding of morality, psychology, and the possibility of creating a more just and harmonious world. Are there universal values that transcend cultural differences, or are we all bound by our own unique perspectives? What is the purpose of government, and what are its limits? Picture a group of people living together in a community. What role should a governing body play in their lives? What services should it provide? And what freedoms should it protect? This question delves into the fundamental nature of government, its purpose, its scope, and its limitations. Why do we need governments? What are their essential functions? And what are the dangers of unchecked power? The debate involves questions of individual rights, collective well-being, and the distribution of resources, seeking to define the proper balance between state authority and individual liberty, a question that shapes our political systems and our understanding of citizenship. Can we ever eliminate poverty, and if so, how? Imagine a world where everyone has access to basic necessities, food, shelter, healthcare, education. Is that a pipe dream or a goal we can actually achieve? This question tackles the challenge of global poverty, the persistent problem of widespread deprivation, and the quest to create a world where everyone has a decent standard of living. Can we truly eradicate poverty? The debate involves questions of economic systems, social policies, and global cooperation, weighing the roles of individual responsibility and collective action in lifting people out of poverty. A complex and urgent issue. What is the nature of love in a digital age? Picture a couple connecting online through screens and keyboards, sharing their lives through images and messages. Is this real love, or is it something different, something mediated, something less authentic? This question explores how technology is changing the way we form relationships and experience love. In a world of social media, dating apps, and virtual connections, what does it mean to connect with another person? Are digital relationships as meaningful as face-to-face interactions? Does technology enhance our capacity for love, or does it create new forms of isolation and superficiality? A question that reflects the evolving landscape of human connection. Is there a difference between needs and wants? And should they be satisfied equally? Consider the things you require to survive: food, water, shelter, and compare them to the things you desire: a new phone, a fancy car, a luxurious vacation. Are these two categories of things equally important? This question delves into the distinction between essential needs and non-essential wants, and the ethical implications of how we prioritize their satisfaction. Should societies ensure that everyone's basic needs are met? And what about wants? Should we have the freedom to pursue our desires, even if they are extravagant or unsustainable? How do we balance individual liberty with social responsibility and the efficient allocation of resources? A question that shapes our economic systems and our social values. What is the role of education in shaping society? Imagine a classroom filled with young minds, eager to learn, to explore, to discover. What impact will their education have on the world they will inherit? What kind of society will they create? This question explores the transformative power of education, its ability to shape individuals and to mold the future of society. Is education primarily about acquiring knowledge and skills, or is it also about developing critical thinking and character? What is the role of schools in promoting social mobility, in fostering civic engagement, and in transmitting cultural values? And how do we ensure that everyone has access to a quality education, regardless of their background? A question that lies at the heart of social progress. Can we ever achieve gender equality, and what does it mean? Envision a world where women and men have the same opportunities, the same rights, the same respect in every sphere of life. From the workplace, to the home, to the halls of power. Is that a realistic vision? This question tackles the challenge of gender equality, the quest to eliminate discrimination and prejudice based on gender, and to create a society where everyone is treated fairly. But what does gender equality truly mean? Does it mean simply equal treatment under the law? Or does it also require addressing the underlying social norms and stereotypes that perpetuate inequality? And what are the most effective strategies for achieving this goal? A question that drives social justice movements and feminist activism